Well, hello. Welcome to Take a Shot with Emem Joy Emah. I am your girl, your host, Emem Joy Emah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to this episode. I hope you're listening with some love, some joy, some hope, some peace. If you're not, whether you already know the drill, I am sending that your way right about now. Well, hi guys. It has been a while. I know I say this all the time. Forgive me. But this time around, y'all, as you can let's just clear this up, okay? As you can hear, I am stuffed up. Your girl got a lot going on, stuffed up, sounding a little bit off. And that's because, y'all, I don't know what this is, but child, your girl been going through, okay? Listen. Not too long ago, I had I had COVID, and then I got over that. I was good, and then all of a sudden this hit, and I'm like, "What is this?" So y'all, I've been going through between work and life and COVID, and then this. I'm like, if it's not one thing, it's another. I mean, really, I could do a whole episode on like my life. Like if it's not one thing, it's another. And I'm like, oh Lord, I can't. So I couldn't lay around anymore, y'all. There was too much going on inside my head, too many thoughts I had that I was like, let me get back to the things I love to do because I'm gonna just have to record this episode, you know what I'm saying? Stuffed up and all. So if you are not a fan of hearing this or hearing sniffles, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do about that. So I'm sorry about that. I hope to see you on another episode. So anyway, yeah. So also, if you're watching this and you see me grab my cup, that's because I am drinking my tea. Cause I need my tea. I need something. I need something to keep me together. Cause like I said, as you can hear, your girl's been going through. Lift me up in prayer, okay? Say a quick prayer for your girl. But I had to come over here because I had to talk to y'all because what has been going on in these streets lately, okay? Listen. So there was this video that went viral, right? It was somebody had I believe her name is Prophetess Tiffany, I guess spoke about, Beyonce going to her concert. And then after that, Jackie Hill Perry came out with a clip from a sermon she was preaching and also talked about African spirituality and witchcraft and, mentioned Beyonce and her music and Kalani and other artists and their music. And then this other speaker, Stephanie Ike, is doing a series on modern witchcraft, and she didn't say anybody's well, as far as I know, the series so far, which is I believe it's like one video, she didn't say anybody's names, but she is talking about witchcraft. So I'm like, what is going on, Jesus? Like, what is it? What is it? Why are we talking about this? Like, what is happening? Why Beyonce name in it? Then what is it about witchcraft, first of all? What is it about, Beyonce name in it? Like, what is going on? And so I was sitting down thinking about, of course, I like talked about it with my girls and, I was praying about it and I started realizing I'm like, okay, I think God is doing something here. Like, it's one thing if one person speaks about something, but when more than one person is speaking about something, I have to lay my, opinions aside and I have to be like, God, what are you saying? what's going on? Because now it's more than one person, and although not everybody's talking about Beyonce or artists, but they're all talking about, like the dark, the demonic, spirituality, witchcraft. I'm like, what's the tea? And so I realized, I'm like, oh God, you're doing something, and you're calling us back to yourself, and you're calling us to turn and repent from our ways, because we have allowed, or we have been gotten comfortable living in the culture amongst us, and have accepted any and everything and become real like lax about it. And you are calling us out and saying, listen, choose this day whom you would serve. Choose who you will serve. I'm not playing with y'all. Choose who you will serve, okay? And so I was like, okay, yeah, let me lay all that aside and hear what you're saying, Lord, because I'm like, regardless of the delivery of whether I agree with the delivery or whatever the case may be, the fact is, God is speaking, right? Like the word says, my sheep know my voice, and a stranger's voice they will not follow. And I'm like, okay, I gotta leave my opinion aside. God is speaking. And if you know me on any degree, I love Beyonce. Like, listen, back in high school, I was a Destiny's Child stan, honey. Stan, okay? I talked about them so much one year that all my friends literally was like, I know what to get you for your birthday. And they all got me like the Destiny Fulfilled CD because I had talked about them so much. And then when Beyonce went, of course, solo, and her solo stuff, I loved it. Would sing in my living room, get the remote, use the remote as a microphone, and act just like her. I mean, I loved Beyonce. And as I grew older, of course, went to college, gave my life to Christ, all that stuff. I remember one day I was watching like a commercial. I think it was like one of her perfumes, and for one of her perfumes, and I was feeling real uncomfortable, I was like, why am I like disturbed? Like something about this, I don't know what like I was like this, because this was Beyonce. Like we know, she likes to give off a little sexy. So I'm like, why am I feeling disturbed? What's going on? And I heard God. There are times where it's like, I'll hear God and I'll think I'm hearing God, but I won't be sure. Like I'm like, God, I don't know. I'm stepping out on faith. I don't know. And then there are other times where I'm like, nah, that was God. That was God. And this was one of those times. And I heard God say to me, if it makes you feel that uncomfortable, turn it off. And I was like, okay. So I turned it off. And then another time, like I said, I grew up loving Beyonce, so I would listen to her music over and over again, and I would watch her concerts in my room and sing the songs for hours. Like sing her song for hours. I loved her. And I remember again hearing God's voice clear as day, God saying, I'm not your God, she is. And I was like, huh? Did I hear that right? And I knew it was God. I heard it in my spirit. And I was like, oh, ouch. So I was like, okay, I gotta put a pause on Beyonce, because I gotta put a pause on her. So I did. Now, I still loved her. I still, thought she was creative. I still, I just toned down my listening and my, I guess, absorption of her. Like I wasn't so deep in it anymore, and I shifted my focus to be more on God, right? But again, I never like hated her or anything like that. I was just like, maybe some things I don't agree with or whatever. As I was growing in God, there was just some things I was like, I don't agree with certain things, but go off, sis, do your thing, and I'm gonna just grow in God. And so I was doing that. And like I said, I just toned down her stuff down a little bit. And then she came out with the Lion King album. I forgot the name. Black is King, the documentary, and the album. I forgot the name of it. And of course, like, I'm Nigerian, like, so I'm like, oh my God, like, she tapped into, like, my culture. Like, let's go. What's good? So I was like, nah, 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 nah. I got to listen. I've got to listen to this record. So I was listening to it, and I was like, there was certain things she was saying, and I was like, oh, because I grew up in the faith. Like, my parents are believers. My family, for the most part, are believers. Now, I've had some members in my family be involved in some things that are not of God. So I was familiar with certain things she was saying in the song, and I was like, ooh, that's giving, like, I know that, and that's not God. And so I was like, okay, I appreciate that she went for the culture. I appreciate that she went to, and tapped into artists from different parts or different countries in Africa. Like, I loved it. I loved that. But I was like, some of the stuff she's singing is giving dark. I knew it, but I was just kind of like, I don't know, like, but so I was not at peace, but I was still kind of like fighting it, really. So, but again, I ignored that, and I was like, it's dope. She's doing some dark stuff, but I, I went on. I lived my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I listen to something, whether it's a TV show, an artist, I've learned to draw boundaries, right? So if I'm not at peace with something, I'll draw boundaries and say, okay, maybe that these songs or this song, whatever, is not something that I will listen to, or this album's not something I will listen to, or this TV show is just not something I'll watch. It doesn't mean that I hate the creator of whatever art is being made. It just means that I'm not at peace, and I enjoy my peace. So if I'm not at peace with something, I have learned that I'm not always the best at it, but I have learned to be like, I'd rather be at peace than not, right? And I especially learned this again during my college years. If you've been listening to this for any length of time, then you know my story. If you don't, well, I'm gonna share it with you real quick. At least I think the short version. There was a period of time in my life where I couldn't sleep. Like, at all, for months. Like, literally months would go by, and I had not slept one wink. I was hearing stuff, I was seeing stuff. It was pretty bad, and my mother would dream that I was dead, and would see me in my coffin dead, and see my spirit. Like, I mean, it was crazy. It was a very dark time, and at that point, I was so bad. That was the worst time. Literally, that was hell on earth. That was the worst time of my life. I would go to the doctor, and he would prescribe medications. Did not work. I would check in. He would say, check in with us. I check in. Nobody would get back to me. And so at that point, I was like, yo, listen, like, I'd rather just die because this is hell. And of course, I'm good now. God has healed me, and that's a different story. That whole story is a different. Maybe I'll do another episode on just that. But I was thinking about that time in my life because I was like, I was thinking about that period of my life, and I was like, I realized, I don't know how or when, but I realized that the enemy was trying to get access into my life, but he couldn't because my family was praying for me and covering me. So even times when I would struggle with sleep, it wouldn't work. Like I would sleep the next day, or it just wouldn't work because I was under the covering of my family. I was good. I realized the shift of when I started experiencing that season of my life, that really dark season, was when I went to a tarot card reader. So in college, a tarot card reader came to my university, and it was like a part of an event, and I was like, I wasn't saved at the time, so I was like, oh, I'm curious, I want to see, so I went. And I remember a friend of mine at the time, she was saved. She was like, I wouldn't do it. And I was like, girl, it's nothing, like I'm just like, it's nothing. And I went, left, and I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. I left and whatever. And I realized it was after that time that I started going through all that crazy stuff that I was going through. That literally opened the door to all that stuff to come into my life. And that's why I want to circle back and say, like, regardless of how I feel, the delivery of something, the or the delivery of the word, if I'm looking and I'm like, more than one person is saying this, I know my experiences with this. God is moving, God is speaking, he's serious about this, and we need to listen. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just want to come on here and share that. And also share, like, if you're struggling, if you've heard these things and you're feeling some type of way, it's triggering for you because maybe you grew up in religion. Like I know, prior to getting saved and knowing God for myself, I grew up in religion. So I mean, think about, like, you can't wear earrings, you can't wear makeup, you can't wear wigs, you can't wear pants, you can't, if you do that, you're going to hell, literally. If you wear pants, you're going to hell. If you wear earrings, you're going to hell. And so I grew up on that, and I was exhausted. Like I was like, I'm not doing this. Clearly God ain't for me, because I like makeup. I like wigs. I like my ear. I like that stuff. And I don't feel like I'm worshiping it. I like wearing pants. I was like, the whole world wears pants. I was like, does that mean everybody's going to hell for wearing pants? And so I didn't understand that. And I was like, clearly this ain't for me. So when I went away to college in my first year, I was excited because I was like, I don't have to deal with that or hear that anymore. And so if this triggers you, if it felt like, oh, I feel like boundaries are being placed around what I can and cannot do, or taking away my freedom, or if this is just hard for you, because I know, like I said, growing up, this was my girl. I love Beyonce. And so to go from listening to her all the time to barely listening to her was a challenge for me at first. Like, genuinely a real one. I'm not gonna lie. Even, like, although I don't listen to her as much anymore, the one thing that I've always had on my bucket list was to go to her concert. Like, I had always been like, when I'm grown and I have my money, I'm gonna go see her live. Like, I've had that dream since I was a little girl. And then all this stuff started coming up, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go see her. No, 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 no. I was like, no, 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 no. But sitting back, I'm like, you know what, God, like, you're speaking, like I said, and I choose to lay this aside, and I choose to, and I went to God in prayer about it, and I asked for His help to be at peace with letting it go. And yeah, so if you are at all struggling with this, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Go to God in prayer about it and ask God to help you to let go of the things that He wants you to let go of, to show you whatever it is, whether it's Beyonce or a show. Because the fact is, we're supposed to guard our eye gates, our ear gates. We're supposed to guard ourselves. Like, we live in this world as believers, but we're not of it. Like, yes, we live in it. Yes, we know. But y'all, more and more, I don't know if you noticed throughout the years, but like, there's been a lot of like dark stuff. And so we just want to be careful with what we're consuming, because, yeah, it's been a lot of dark stuff. So we just want to be careful about what we allow. Like, this is your life and you want peace. And so more than anything, you want the peace of God. So it's not saying that you can't have fun or you can't experience the gifts that God has given us. It's just drawing boundaries. It's just knowing that it's not, that you can't entertain everything, because we do have an enemy. If you're a believer, know that we do have an enemy, and he wants to steal, kill, and destroy, period. And so, that being said, if you're struggling, go to God in prayer and ask Him for His help, His grace to do and be obedient to what He's calling you to be and to do. And He will help you. God is good, y'all, for real. And also, like, pray for, the people that God is using to speak up, that they would be covered, their families would be covered, And then lastly, pray for the artists themselves, the Beyonce, the Kalani, the whoever, the whatever creator that you notice, is doing some dark stuff. Like, of course, yes, speak out as God leads you to speak out, but also remember that, like I said, I, went and because I was in search of something, I went and I dabbled into things that I wasn't supposed to, right? And so we have to remember that these people are people too, and maybe they are in search of something too, and in search of God, and maybe are dabbling in things that they're not supposed to, and being used by the enemy. And so the word of God says that the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and it's effective. And so let's just make sure that we are praying for these people, like, more than just, because we often, when we think about Beyonce, the Oprahs of the world, the Beyoncés of the world, and all these creators and artists, we tend to put them on a pedestal, right? And we tend to, exalt them. But let's remember that they're flesh and blood who Jesus came to die for, just like He came to die for you and me. They put their pants on one leg at a time like we do. They go to the bathroom like we do. They are human. And so let's pray for their salvation, their deliverance, because God loves them too. God came to die for them too. And so, yeah, pray for yourself and ask God to walk you through the process of releasing things that He's calling you to release. And just know that whatever He calls you to release, God is good, and whatever He's calling you to release, it's, at the end of the day, it's for our good, even if it doesn't feel like it, because God is good. He's a dad, and a dad wants the best for his children. And so, it's trusting God and being obedient and saying, you know what, God, like, I trust you, and It may not be easy, but yes, help me. Give me the desires of your heart. Help me, and he will. I promise y'all. Again, you're talking to somebody that used to love this woman, and I still do. Like I said, I don't listen to her, as much anymore, but I still care, and still care for her as a person, as an individual. Um, the same goes for other artists. I may not, and other shows, creators of certain shows. I may not watch the show anymore, but I'm like, they're doing their thing. And my hope and my prayer is that God is able to reach them. They would be saved too, because that's the whole goal. God desires that no one should perish, that all should have everlasting life. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation. If you've been noticing this, like, let me know what your thoughts are. If or have you been like, girl, I ain't noticed nothing, like, let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to hear all about it. Or on Instagram at Take a Shot Podcast, TikTok, Take a Shot Podcast, or via email, Take a Shot Podcast at gmail.com. As always, wherever you're listening to this, whether you're watching it or you are listening to it, subscribe, share, follow, all the things. I love you. I appreciate you. And I cannot wait to talk to you in the next episode. Bye, guys.